We got two national champs right here. It was a great weekend for Cowboy Wrestling, and just looking back, it's been a really fulfilling year. Just helping these guys achieve their goals and our team. It definitely it's a good way to get our season, getting going.
A few days after it ended, what's kind of going through your mind? How are you digesting the whole situation of not just these two guys winning national titles, but just the jump you guys made this year as a program?
I think that, we talked about in the beginning of the year and throughout the year, just talking about just like resetting your expectations, and I think that's just what we did as a program, and I think it's just constantly reminding, like, hey, there's a better way to do things. There's a bigger picture. Make sure we're not selling ourselves short. It's like, okay, so maybe it started in the beginning of the year, which is how we were performing in dual meets, and then it was how we can separate ourselves and how we can go out and score bonus points. And I think it started to become our DNA of what we're going to go do. It was a separating factor for us in the conference tournament. It made a difference for us at the national tournament, and just having guys that believed in what we were doing. And I think this group, they had to believe in us. We didn't have really any data going into this tournament, just outside of what we were saying, and just the belief that they have. And now moving forward, we continue to build on that.
Wyatt, that's something that David's talked about a lot, is belief. That's something you talked about a lot in your post-game. Between your last match with Gable and this match with Gable, and maybe it was the whole time, but was there a time where you started to believe? Was there like a solid moment where that kind of switch flipped for you?
I think I just had to mentally decide what I wanted, if I wanted to be a champion or not, because you can see it or you can say it, and if you don't truly believe it, it's going to show in those last matches. But if you do believe and you do think you're going to achieve your goals, we're going to have situations like we just saw. But we talk about trust. I remember when I first came in to Oklahoma State, Coach Taylor, he's like, hey, I will make you a national champion. And I trusted him from day one in the practice room. I was kind of jokingly doing this, but not jokingly doing it. Like, everything Coach Taylor did, I was doing. Because he's walked the walk, he's done it. I was like walking, like seeing the way he's doing his stance, like the way he humps his back, what kind of water he drinks, how much he sleeps. Like, anything he did, I was copying it. Because I was like, I got an awesome opportunity here to, another bonus shot to go be a national champion. I'm not going to waste it. And so I think it was just, from the last time I wrestled Gable, it was, my head was definitely in a different place as far as, because that's the guy who I watched him wrestle the year before that when I was in high school. Like, man, like, you got to set role models for yourself. And, wrestling one of your role models is kind of interesting sometimes. And the second time I was like, dude, I'm going out here to beat you. I'm not just going to, I respect you, but at the same time, I want to be the champ and I'm going to prove it. And so I think just evolving my mindset and attitude that the coaches instilled in all of us throughout the year, it showed in times like that. There's 30 seconds left. I get the shot. He starts to sprawl away, but I wanted it, and so I got it.
Wyatt, what's it been like seeing, there were a lot of comments on social media, from famous people, from just OSU fans. What's it been like just seeing how excited people were to watch that moment?
It's been pretty unreal. I've been riding a little bit of a high. It's just been like just a little bit of levitation because, you look at it on paper, and you ask ChatGPT, like, hey, what would happen in this match? 0% chance of me 100% Cable on everything. You look at every social media platform. I didn't do this before the match, obviously, but after the match, it was kind of cool. People were sending me stuff, and it was like, this is already spoken for. It's over. Like, Gable's going to win this. No one really put any thought to me winning. Besides us, we kind of knew what we wanted and we wanted to go get it. And so seeing all that stuff around, I think it's just it's a good feeling because, just because someone else doesn't believe in you doesn't mean you should lose faith in yourself. And so, wrestling out there on that mat, the coach was in my corner. God was, the Holy Spirit was flowing through me and, gave me the courage and power to finish that match strong and be the national champion.
What has it surprised you how big a deal? You were on Fox News.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a pretty exciting couple days. I'm like, this is pretty cool. It'll be exciting. It'll kind of blow over, but still getting contacted a little bit. So a few things are still flowing, which is exciting. It's new, You know, I like my little small life in Stillwater, my happy life with all the boys and just the boys. But you know, I think there's some exciting opportunities that I might be able to, you know, pursue here soon.
Wyatt, how long did it take for you to check your phone and see who was messaging you after you won?
Yeah, I blacked out probably after my match. I tried to stand up and just fell, and then coaches were pummeling me in the face. I didn't feel anything, and then I don't even know. I think I came back down to like realize what was going on when I was walked to the back finally. I actually never had my phone. That was the funny thing. My mom's like calling like, "Hey, sweetie, where you at?" Like I saw these voicemails. It was like 12 o'clock when I finally got my phone to answer the question. But I thought that was funny. Like right after the match, my mom sent me a text like, "Mom, I'm not going to be at my phone right now." So, but I mean, yeah. I think every single person I've ever met or ran into, you know, like, oh, I don't know if you remember me, but in 2014 I saw you at Walmart, you know. So everyone's showing their support, and that just makes me excited because a lot of people that might have never been involved in wrestling, they saw that match, and for most of them, if that was their first match, it's gonna be hard to top that, you know, as you're the beginning of a wrestling fan journey. But it's just the amount of overwhelming support that everyone's been showing is just, I mean, it's awesome.
Dean, I had Quint Kesnich on my show this morning. He talked about interviewing both you guys after you win. He talked about interviewing wrestlers in general after they win a championship. How much do you remember of that interview? Because he says a lot of times when I'm talking to guys, they're so juiced after, you know, kind of what Wyatt was saying there, after what happens. Do you even know what you answered?
I didn't really know. I don't remember too much that I said. You know, I was kind of riding that adrenaline high, like Wyatt said. So, no, I don't really remember it.
Dean, in a lot of your post-match interviews, you said that it hadn't hit you yet. Has it hit you? When did it hit you? What was that
I think
moment
it
like?
took me a little bit to kind of just unwind and relax a little bit, and then kind of hit me once I started getting a bunch of text messages and congratulations.
And what was that moment like whenever you finally started sinking in a little bit?
It was awesome. Felt fulfilled and grateful. Is there one, whether it was just the wildest text message you got or maybe the most sincere, was there one or two that stood out to you? They're all just congrats and sending positive message my way, and yeah.
Dean, what was your you know, obviously, like you've talked about, you could have easily won the Big 12s against Keegan. Given how it ended, what did you take from that match going into this title match, and what was your mindset going in, really?
Yeah, just had to stay focused and present during the whole match. You know, in the Big 12s, it kind of got off path a little bit, and I paid for it. So really making sure that I was present every single moment in the finals match.
How much did that experience kind of fuel your run through the bracket at 174?
Yeah, I obviously wanted that win back, so that was one. But I was just trying to go out there and score as many points as I could in every match.
Wyatt, it came out not too long ago. You're a finalist for the Hodge. Just kind of what does that mean for you?
I mean, if you look at the track record, I've been the most dominant wrestler in the NCAA for, I think this is the 4th year in a row. So, you know, I learned a lot this year. I've developed a lot as a wrestler this year. I like to say when you go to learn from a magician, you tend to learn magic. So, I mean, having that extra spin on everything is just pretty sweet.
Geez.
So, you know, winning that trophy is going to be exciting. You know, I'm a semifinalist, and Carter Starachi has won 5 national titles. That's never been done before, so that's very impressive. So, I mean, I'm just happy to you know, be in the runnings for it.
Wyatt, I asked you at the airport about who was the outstanding wrestler in the tournament, and you said, I don't even know. It'd be nice if it were me, and I think it was Starachi. I mean, he got the 5th national championship. That trumps to me, a Dan Hodge trophy trumps wrestler of the meet in the NCAA. I mean, do you know the history of all this? I mean, can you appreciate what being the Dan Hodge winner would be?
Yeah, I think I'd feel okay about that if I got that instead of being a state wrestler. So, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Being along those lines, Amateur Wrestling News gave you the Hammer Award, which they say is for the winner of the toughest weight class. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I'm honored to get that. That's an awesome achievement for me, and I think it's a testament to the run that I had in that tournament.
I think it was after the semifinal. You talked about looking over at your dad right before the sudden victory period. I don't know, how much did your dad, actually, your family get to come here and watch you, and what was it like having them there for that?
Yeah, they came to a couple duels, and that's obviously a super special moment for me, being able to run down after that match and greet my family, and they're all super proud and thankful for everything that they've done for me through my wrestling career.
Dean, anything Wyatt talked about, copying pretty much everything David was doing. It sounds like anything specific you learned from David this year that changed the way you wrestled that you think helped you?
I think mindset-wise, just being more calm during matches. Last year I'd go out and be kind of spazzy and over wrestle sometimes, but really being able to unwind and take it all in and just be calm out there.
When did you know this was possible?
Right when I got here.
Okay. And what was it about that? What was it about getting here?
Just the environment, the training partners, and everyone working to accomplish these goals. And when everyone's working to do that, special things can happen.
David, there's been multiple guys, and I know Dean harped on it a lot up in Philly, about learning patience as part of what helped him this year. How much of an emphasis is that for you, and was that something that was important during your competitive career?
Yeah, I think you're constantly always learning. I think when I had the ability to compete across the world and every biggest event, right? And you learn from those things, and just little things that we talk about these guys, like, hey, these are some things that I did at the days of the finals that helped me, or these are some mistakes that I made, and ultimately they had to decide what was best for them, but you're just constantly learning. But I just think patience is something like you want to win the nationals, but you don't win the nationals in one day. It just takes time, right? And both of these guys made big improvements this year, and it's just a testament to them wanting to make those improvements, And I think with patience, like, for wrestling, the guys he had to wrestle, they had great reattacks, So he had to be patient and making sure that the leg attacks that he was taking he was shooting to take the guys down. And if not, he was recovering. And he did a great job. He started a sprint with a minute left. And, he had 4 or 5, 6 different attacks before getting his hands locked for the time to get a takedown, And I just think that's just he believed, And for DJ, he had to wrestle against really good guys that are really good at finishing, And not being impatient and trying to jump to the scramble. Like, he had to be patient with his defense, And I think that was big for him in executing in both those matches. So, and I just think for both these guys, talk about, like, belief. You beat guys in the semis that are returning national champions, and neither one of them lost focus of the bigger goal. And I think a lot of times you can see that when people don't really believe, they just get excited before the final goal is achieved. And to do that and to stay focused and to stay calm and to obviously then do what they did in the finals. It's just both these guys beat 2 different national champions to win the nationals, and it's nice to be able to, when you say you're the national champion and you beat the best guys, like it's a testament to their work, So it just was cool to see their growth throughout the year.
David, you've had so many moments for yourself as a competitor that you remember what it was like. By the way, Dean, your face right at the end, the picture that got caught, the smile, pretty awesome. What was it like for you being in the corner? Because you've been the coach all year, but when you're coaching and your guys win a national championship, that's a different level for a coach. Do you remember how you felt? And by the way, when he got his takedown, the coaches you guys were going nuts over there in the corner. But talk about your memory of seeing what these guys did at the moment they did it.
Well, I think with him, just 3 instances come to mind in his match, right? The guy got to his leg early and he stayed patient, right? And he bounced around on one leg for a minute, and didn't just get, a lot of times you get in those situations and the defensive guy just gets too excited and you put yourself in a bad situation. You stayed calm, so I think that was big, and I just think constantly reminding him to stay calm in those situations. Number 2, there's he got to leg attack on that nice re-attack, got the takedown, it gets overturned. And it's a time like, we were excited because, probably can get the takedown, it's over, but I remember reminding him, like, hey, they might take this off the board, be ready, and you can easily get rattled and lose your focus, and he didn't do that. Got back on the line, and then in overtime goes and gets the takedown. So it was kind of like those different moments, like you could have lost your focus in any one of those moments, maybe changed the outcome. It just kind of shows a testament to his belief. And I was excited for him. It's just the first national champion that we've coached, and I mean, it's just an incredible accomplishment, you know. And then with Wyatt, I mean, I just talked to him when he was in the, you know, was walking out, you know, he was just like locked in, you know. I just hadn't really seen that from him. And a lot of times when he's in the tunnel, you know, in the dual meet stuff, we're already out there, so I don't see him in the tunnel that much. I just see him when he runs out, you know. And just getting in that first scramble and we talk about not giving up any easy points. You know, neither of these guys did that in the national finals, and that made a big difference. You know, not conceding that first takedown, making a scramble, making them have to wrestle hard. It changed how the match was going to be wrestled. And then he just gave himself a chance at the end, you know. And at the minute left, I'm like, it's time to go, you know. And you put the flurry together, and when he got on the leg and started building up, I'm like, I've been here before. This is, you know, when he gets those leg attacks on you, there's not much defending, you know. And he just stayed calm. And in the past, he'd split his lock. He didn't. He stayed patient, 2 hands to the leg, knee pounded in, kept his chest tight, ran the takedown down, and then had to ride him for 20 seconds. You know, so it was a pretty incredible experience, and just I was happy to be a part of it.
Did you realize in the moment that you and Jimmy were just about wrestling each other?
It's Tyler. Yeah, he kept punching me in the stomach. Yeah.
Really hard, too.
Yeah. I remember being like, oh, yeah, what the heck, dude? You know, but, yeah, I mean, it's just, I think for the most part, you know, we're pretty calm in the corner. But, I mean, my emotions definitely took over there, too. I'm glad he just stayed focused.
Have you seen the video of y'all celebrating in the corner?
I've seen it a few times.
Well, I don't know. Were you surprised at how animated you got? Did you were you so locked in on the match that you weren't even realizing what was happening in the corner? Or?
I don't know. I mean, I think you're focused, and I mean, you got the takedown, and then, you know, it's a big moment, you know, but then realizing there's 20 seconds left, and he's got to still ride him out. And I'm like, I obviously I knew Gable was going to put one more flurry together, you know, and he did, got up, and I'm just like, this is it, you know, got to ride him here. And rode him out and held him down. And it just was, it was pretty incredible. You know, it's just, it was incredible.
Wyatt, take me through the idea of the entry with the shirt and the flag. You know, when did that come? When did you think of it? When somebody, I mean, where was it born, and where did you get the flag and the shirt? Where were they from?
Absolutely. Well, the shirt's from FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I mean, I love what they're doing. I think it's really important to bring that into the sport, because at the end of the day, it's bigger than wrestling. You know, there's a bigger purpose to this, and, you know, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is the driving force behind everything. He guides me every day of my life, and so that needs to be known, because I'm not doing it by myself. You know, I got a huge support group, and the biggest supporter of all is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So
That's the magician.
Yeah.
Combine all that.
I mean, it's just a big pot of success when you get all the right pieces in, the right ingredients, and it worked out pretty well. But yeah, I mean, I remember seeing Pat Glory walk out with the flag, and I sat there, and my buddies, Calvin's son, looked at me, and he was like, dude, when you make it to national finals, you're going to rep that flag. Because, I mean, I stand for this country, you know. I think it's important to, you know, bring an aspect that I enjoy, and I take pride in serving this country and being an active duty second lieutenant in the Air Force. And so I think to spread the word of that as well, I'm going to do it. And I think it was just the right time to do it. I mean, yes, most times when someone wears the flag, it's after a world championship or Olympic championship, and, you know, I was a world champion as well. So, you know, I just thought it was a special moment for me to embrace.
Where did the flag come from?
There's nothing quite special about the flag. I think we got it at Walmart.
Okay.
I forgot my original one I was going to bring, but the backup still worked.
That might be a sponsorship, you never know.
There we go, exactly.
What's kind of the response been like from both the Air Force, like wrestling side of it, and just like the Air Force at large? What's kind of that been like?
Yeah, I mean, first off, just again, shout out to WCAP, the World Class Athlete Program, for allowing me to be here in Stillwater and be able to reach my goals of being a national champion alongside, you know, training to be a 2028 Olympic gold medalist. So, I mean, the support there it's always been there. You know, they're there to support me in the next couple of years, you know, whatever I need. And I mean, it's just awesome.
I was told pictures are going up in Air Force recruiting offices now.
I mean, the foundation that was built at the Air Force Academy. I mean, that's a real thing. The time I spent there developing myself as not only a wrestler but a leader and a warrior. I mean, that's still stuff that I carry with me today, and that it's just engraved into my wrestling. And so, with that kind of foundation, with the Magic Man over here, adding in some spicy ingredients into it, it kind of just turns into just big ball of success.
Does the win on Saturday change how you view, you've talked a lot about 28, and it's clear what your goal is, but does this change how you view that now because you won a match like this?
I think no matter what happens, the goals are going to stay the same. We never talked about, whenever Gable joined, there was never a time where we sat down like, hey, this just happened. Like, nothing has ever changed. So that's been the mindset since August. I don't think anything's still going to change, because this is a part of the journey, is conquering wrestlers like that, and that's just part of the journey. So I think the plan we've set in place has been proven to work pretty well, and so I think we're not going to deviate from what we've been doing. We know what works. I know that the special mountain water coach drinks helps me too. I start copying him doing that, so we're not going to start changing everything now.
Coach, I'm not saying it'll be a problem with either one of these guys. I honestly don't think it will be. But you've won a national championship, and you've understood continuing the journey and the march and going on to some of the international opportunities that existed for you and will for these guys. Is that what you share with them now? Okay, it's time to come down, and remember, there's a day you go back to work, and because they're still yours with the RTC.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a challenge. It's like you have different tiers of success and what you want to do, and there's right now they're enjoying what they did, which was pretty great, and here soon we'll sit down and we'll reevaluate. But even on the plane home, I just told them, like, this is great. Whether you achieved your goals or you didn't, life does move forward. Life moves forward. And whether we're going to prepare to win the Nationals next year for some of you guys, or you're going to refocus and get ready for the U.S. Open in 4 weeks, or if it's getting ready for a World Championship this year, it's just, you have different guys have different priorities, and I know these guys have still big aspirations and can still do some great things, and we're here to help them through those things and navigate. There's just different challenges that come when you're on the hunt, and there's different challenges that come when you're the hunted, right? So, but you just continue to help them just remain focused and grounded, and they obviously got some opportunities that they need to capitalize on right now, because it's pretty awesome, but in the meantime, we're constantly moving forward to what's next.
Wyatt, did you get to break out all of your slaying the giants kind of metaphors that you planned on? And can you sort of talk about, it seems like that was something intentional you were thinking about going into that one?
Yes. So last week at Life Church, the sermon was mainly about David and Goliath, and I think it's easy to overlook a lot of the key values and principles that story entails. So, if you're not aware of David and Goliath, David was an Israelite, and Goliath was a big monster, and he had been taunting them for 40 days, and everyone was it was what he was saying, and he was like, no one wanted to fight him. I mean, he's 15 foot tall, he's giant, he's been killing people, and and David, this small guy, this little shepherd, it's just like, I saw myself when I was hearing that sermon. I actually went and watched it like 3 more times that day, just because it resonated so much with me. I talk about people saying, like, oh, this is Gable, the matches, he's going to win, all that stuff. I kind of felt a similar situation, but the people that, believe that David could kill Goliath, was David and his family and his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So, that just really resonated with me this whole week. And David had a vision of victory. You have to see it happening. You have to believe it. And, when David went out there to kill Goliath, he went and he grabbed 5 stones to throw. And people, he got 5 in case he misses. No, it's because Goliath had 4 other brothers, and he was ready to kill all of them right out there. He knew he could do it because he had God on his side. And so I think just having that, even before I went out there, before that match, I remember just sitting in the tunnel, and I was zoned in, I was focused, and I'm just like, this can be done. Like, I believe I can do this. And so I really just think that pretty grateful that Pastor Craig had our guest speaker come preach that story, because that's exactly what I needed to hear the week before the national tournament. I was able to, just resonate with that all week, especially after the match.
Obviously, you've had a pretty dominant wrestling career. When's the last time, not that you felt like it was going to be a close match, but do you remember the last time you went into a match where you felt like at least everyone else was like, oh, Wyatt doesn't have a chance?
I don't know. I mean, there's been a couple matches. I mean, I faced Gable my freshman year, and it was, that was a little bit different, obviously. Went a different way this past weekend, but I don't really know. There's a couple matches when I was facing, I think like Greg was a great competitor, Mason Paris was a great competitor, and at that time, I was pretty developed as a wrestler, but there's still that, I didn't have that special sprinkle of magic yet. So, I mean, if I just can apply, sometimes what I know now, if I could go back to some of those situations and just apply one thing, just mentally too, like we talk about attitude. Attitude is so big, because when you're out there wrestling, if you have that attitude of being dominant, your opponent's going to feel that pressure. So I just think back to, man, only if I could apply what I know now to past matches, like I would have, maybe have a couple more national championships sometimes. But I mean, I think that everything I learned at the Air Force Academy, though, and I wouldn't go back and change that for anything.
So was the mustache just like a good luck charm to get you through nationals? And what changed?
Yeah, so as you can see, the mustache is now gone. But at first, I did the mustache as kind of a joke, just because I finally could. I haven't been able to have any facial hair for the past 5 years, and so I commissioned and I could, and then I was gonna shave it, but then people were like, "Man, like, get those caterpillars off your face." I'm like, you know what? No. I'm going to keep it now for a little bit, but I don't know. I told myself after nationals, like, I'll probably shave it after nationals. And, last night I was going to bed and I was like, well, might as well just shave it. I do like the look of a clean face, and so I wanted to look good for all you guys today. So there we go.
He says next to the two bearded dudes.
It looks good on them too. That's okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, you guys both transferred in from other schools. Dean, maybe for you first and then Wyatt second. Has your Oklahoma State experience been what you hoped it would be, just overall?
Yeah, I love it here. The fan base is amazing. Everyone here is amazing, and couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah, I've said it once. I'll say it before. Stillwater's a special place. There's something special going on here. Definitely exceeded expectations. All I knew is that I was, I wanted to come be a national champion. Coach Taylor said, hey, if you come here, you're going to be a national champion. And not only that, but, the group of guys on this team we're boys, we're family. We're going fishing all the time. We're going over to get dinner with each other. It's just, it makes it that much more special when you're doing something great, but it makes it better when you're doing it with people that you care about and people that care about you. So, I mean, we're right now it's awesome. There's a lot of hype. We're going to be excited, but, at the end of the day, we're going to go back to the room with, 40 great wrestlers and keep grinding together, because we started this journey together and we're excited. Dean and I are excited to stay around and, help support the next group of guys that are going to go compete and represent Oklahoma State University next year and for years to come.
Coach, you can't talk about any particular recruit individually, but a blanket statement. These are transfers that came into your program and fulfill their dreams. How much does that help you when you talk to potential transfers?
I think when we first got here in our very first press conference, we laid out a plan of how we're going to be successful. And I'd say up until this weekend, the people decided to come here, there's an element of just blind trust. Like, hey, this is what our plan is going to be successful. And, after this weekend now, they've seen it. They've seen what it can do, and which is exciting. And I just want to thank these guys, for believing this whole year. They constantly just came to work every day with a good attitude and trying to get better. And the reality is, we're just trying to create an environment that kids can come and fulfill their dreams, enjoy what they're doing, and just help them continue to progress. We're just trying to be the best that we can be, and, if that's becoming a national champion, that's the pinnacle, that's great. If that's becoming an All-American, then that's great too. But, I think we set our standards high, and we're going to continue to hold guys to those standards, and it's ultimately their goals. We're just trying to help them, and so it's exciting, so I want to thank these guys.
Does that element of blind trust make this group that you coached, your first group, a little bit special?
Well, I think this group is special no matter what. You know, it's just this year I constantly, I just enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed these guys. I enjoyed getting to know them. I enjoyed this journey, this season. And I think the first group's always going to have a special place in your heart because, you know, we all were doing it, navigating it together. So, yeah, it was awesome.
I imagine last offseason was a bit of a whirlwind for you. I mean, obviously getting hired and all that stuff. Are you excited to kind of be in a flow going into this offseason and sort of know what you're working with and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, it is nice to have our feet underneath of us, you know, right now. I mean, we got here in May last year, and it was like, I mean, it was like warp speed. You know, we're trying to make ground in so many different areas, you know, and I thought we did a good job of navigating those things, and now we get a chance to finish our first national tournament and you know, have a full off season to help our guys get ready next year, to help develop our RTC and those. I mean, it's the NCAA tournament's over, and now the path to our guys trying to be world champions starts. And then as soon as the world championships complete, you're into season again, right? And that's just the nature of the job, to try and help these guys achieve the goals they want to do and the level of success that we want to have. So, you know, I think it was a good year. We learned a lot and just had a really good foundation.
Good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
You did not like my magic?
No, it was good. It was good, real good.